What happens if you don't build a single factory in your own country and simply try to have people be the owners of factories abroad? We're going to find out today as we build up the Dutch East Indies to have infinite plantations, all owned by people in the Netherlands. And folks, that brings us right here. Today we play the country with the best countryside, the best people and the best food, although the last one is kind of up for debate. We are playing the Netherlands, and today I want to not just, take a good look at the position that they're in and of course try to maybe stamp out the Belgians. No, I also actually want to try something that is very suboptimal but sounds fun, at least in my mind. We'll figure it out whether it really is, and that is not building any economic building in our homeland. Obviously, I can't stop capitalists and so on, but the ultimate goal here is that with the Dutch East Indies at first and maybe whoever else we can find later, I want to build up in a situation where I extract every piece of wealth from their country. What that means is we don't build any economic buildings in the homelands, we build all economic buildings just down here in the Dutch East Indies and in any other colonies that we have without ever owning any of it directly. See, I was sitting down and Pivot of Empire, it is about India, the last patch was of course about power blocks, about building an empire, and I said to myself, what if we build a caricature of the imperial core? Everybody right here does entirely just paperwork and they get paid millions for it. That is the dream anyway. Let's see whether we can do this. A lot has changed, of course, in 1.8, so we're going to see a bunch of that, the movements, the discrimination, and so on. Now, I can tell you we do want a lot of this tech right here just so that the Dutch East Indies can kind of inherit it, right? I want to go ahead there, but I will tell you that society techs, I think, are a lot more important for us. Corporates does basically nothing for us, which is surprising because normally this is a very, very important tech, but if you don't build any buildings that do economy, you can't actually have corporations. What we're going to focus on here, I think, is we're going to go with dialectics, then maybe with Central Archive and all of these, just, they're basically free money. You get minting here, you get, of course, maximum cash reserves and so on. The idea being just making more money is already worth something. Now, of course, there is another way to make money, and that is to simply exploit the Dutch East Indies. In this patch, you can actually demote them immediately to just being a colony. If you take a look at this right here, right, Dominion give you 25% of their income, whereas a colony gives you a 30% immediately. So we're gonna do this, and immediately after I'm going to do another really odd thing. So they have this vassal called Tidore, and Tidore is not our vassal, but I can transfer stuff from them to the Dutch East Indies, which also directly means they get angry at the Dutch East Indies and not at me. I'm gonna do that. This is basically just freely suppressing their liberty desire. Definitely something I want to do, and I think on top of that we're just gonna raise their taxes, and all of a sudden you can see we're making a decent pocket change amount of money right here, hopefully just driving that up further and further. Now the next thing was me basically looking at this and saying, okay, but wait a minute, how exactly do I make money here? Obviously in Java we have this massive benefit, volcanic fertility, right? We get plus 20% agriculture and plantations, which means if you build plantations you get a plus 40% bonus, which is quite significant. However, every single plantation in their default state only gives you 5,000 jobs. And if you take a look at this, you can see that the subsistence farms, so the rice paddies that they have right here, they actually create per level, take a look at this right here, 10,000 jobs, which means every time we take away another subsistence farm level, we actually take away 5,000 jobs from them, which will mean a lot of people here are going to be very angry. So for starters, we're not actually going to focus on this. We will focus on everything agriculture because building it is so cheap. It is only 200 points, whereas for example, this right here is 600, right? So this is a lot longer in terms of how it takes to actually build it, 800 for steel mills, for example. But what we're going to start with is not pushing people out of their subsistence farms and just turning them unemployed, because that is turmoil, which then again means that the Dutch East Indies make less money and we make less money because, their money is effectively our money. What we're going to do is starting by building some logging camps. They also only have 200 construction points and they are a natural resource we needed anyway, of course, for our construction sectors. I am not immediately going to change away here from this production method. I think we are golden on this. And from there, let's just do the classic stuff. Let's raise taxes, for example. Let's go on and do, of course, some consumption taxes. I don't want to lean on this too heavily because I want my people in the metropole to be happy. But there is something super interesting here that I definitely want to show off because it is so good. Take a look at this. 10.8 current standard of living. This is super important because in the past, what you're about to see here was not nearly as impactful, and this can really bite you in your behind if you play a high taxation, low consumer goods strategy, like we have all done it in the prior patches, because you need to at least be a little bit more cautious. just because this standard of living is going to drop like a rock. Where previously maybe it went from, let's say, 10 to 9.5, now it's going to go from almost 11 all the way down to 9, and that is just a massive, massive drop that will make a lot of people very angry. I think what I would like right away is tenant farmers. I want to get rid of our independent farmers. We can be semi-conservative in our playstyle here because, again, everything will just naturally change as people just work in financial districts non-stop, right? When I start privatizing whatever we build in the Dutch East Indies. So let's go for tenant farmers. I want to knock dead the rural folk before they ever become a problem. Then we go for secret police and we will be in an amazing position. Now, as we unpause here, the huge question is, of course, with whom do we side? If we side with the British, we could join their empire. The one big drawback here could potentially be the fact that if they do a market unification, our whole economy could actually be shot in the head. We are very reliant on import-export of the Dutch East Indies. So I'm not going to join them. I am actually going to go ahead and form our very own, and this is just an amazing name, the Glorious Union. We're going to form our very own power block. It is going to make a lot of people angry at us, but it means that I can determine what market and so on is going on. Additionally, we are also going to pick up Vassalization 1. This is pretty good. Vassalization 2, income transfer from subjects, is huge. So yeah, let's just get this. The other one is kind of better only if you have roughly equal power block members, so not your subjects, but that's just not the case for us. We are just a literal empire. This opinion hit here is terrible, but well, you can't skip it. It is what it is. Oh, and apparently we have an anti-Austrian association. That kind of sucks because I would like to sell stuff to the Austrians. They don't have colonies, so stuff like, you know, color, dye, that kind of stuff is something they don't normally get. But doesn't look like they're going to become a permanent part of our ensemble here. What we're going to do is we're going to make friends with the Russians, the Prussians, and the French. The idea is we're going to turn you into a rival and then try to trade with the rest of Europe, including actually the United States of America. You know what, Denmark? I don't like you, okay? You suck. Get out of town. I need to improve relations with all of these great powers. Denmark declared a rivalry. Oh no. I'm shaking in my boots. Now, what Britain is doing here is a very smart move, and I'm going to do this right away actually as well. I will declare a colony in every last region that I can. I am doing this full well in the knowledge that if you do not have a port that connects this to your market, you cannot actually grow the colony. However, that is completely fine. The goal here isn't to actually get a colonial empire in Africa. We already have the Dutch East Indies. It's fine. We don't have any resources here that we would want in comparison to over there in the Dutch East Indies. We do this so that eventually I might be able to trade all of these resources or all of these locations here. So this is literally just a bargaining chips for Diplo plays, that kind of stuff. We're playing this a bit memey, but to be fair, I'm not building any industrial base, so my own GDP is going to suck a lot. So I think it is only fair that I at least somewhat min-max it elsewhere. If you were wondering, by the way, does he know what he's doing? Will this be successful? I don't know. This famine, by the way, does not matter for us. It's just the cut-off, folks. Completely irrelevant. I might eventually build ports there, but I think right now I just don't really care. That is always the big lesson, right? Does it work? I'm as eager to find out as you are. And look at that, the British have declared a war against the Great Qing, which also means, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there should be the British Raj. There they are. They are in this war, which means they are busy, which means they might not join in on this play if I were to start it right now. Let's take a look at this. Yep, everybody is already busy. Nobody is willing to hop in here. So I'm going to declare this play immediately. The idea here is we take over part of Indonesia, of Indo-China even possibly, and then just keep handing it over to the Dutch East Indies should they ever become disloyal. That makes it so that, you know, we have a very easy time actually keeping them loyal. And by the way, oh, the right click. We are playing vanilla here. VTM has had right click assignment to front lines for a while, but vanilla has it as well now. And take a look at this. Even the Navy can do it. God. You love to see it, finally. Yeah, and look at that. They are already building tobacco plantations. The long-term plan for me, I think, is to go towards laissez-faire. There are some drawbacks with laissez-faire, but I want to privatize everything I build. I want to own nothing. And by the way, look at this. Like I said, the standard of living drop is brutal in this version. They are using much, much more of the spectrum. Instead of, you know, hey, oh, I'm poor. At the start, you're like 9.0, and then, oh, I'm even poorer now. You just use like 1 point or something. No. We went down from 10.8, if I'm not mistaken, to now 8.8. That is very significant. I think they made the right choice there in how they changed it. Alright, and now that this Diplo play has started, why don't we go in against Aceh immediately as well? So basically my calculation normally is that if they are over minus 50, so minus 58 is fine, they're not going to come in, and I can declare this Diplo play and we shall be fine. And this war will of course end in just seconds because they instantly capitulate the moments you completely occupy them, so We're good to go there. We've now started to build these logging camps. Again, like I said, this is just the very first measure so that the plantations afterwards don't push too many people just into unemployment. And speaking of which, actually, I need to talk to the Dutch East Indies about their laws. What would we like to change? So basically what you have to take in right now is that discrimination has become a lot more interesting and a lot more dynamic. Currently, most of their population, 97% of it, are actually under open prejudice, which means things are bad but not awful. Every law we change will slightly pivot them either in a better or worse direction. And, well, there are certainly reasons for either direction. If you upgrade them into second-class citizens, you can see that obviously they will be less unhappy, but their wages will also be more. Take a look at this. Minus 20% wage is amazing because it means they are cheaper and we make more money at home. You love to see it. While on the other hand, of course, this makes it so that they can get easier qualifications amassed, which then makes it so that you can have more advanced production methods and so on and so forth. For now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we need qualifications from them almost at all. The reason for this being is that, well, we don't have any production methods. The Dutch East Indies aren't going to be fast about them. So right now, any reduction in wages is amazing. And by the way, I would love actually to go towards slave trade. I'm just gonna say that. But I think what we're gonna do is, I'm going to change this law only after we have addressed this via the National Guard. So we're going to give them National Guard so that we can discriminate them more without having the turmoil and so on. National Guard, no police, all of those two, they have to change, and then we can go continue and suppress them more. We just have to prep the Dutch East Indies at least a little bit. Oh, and they deferred enacting it. God, I hate you so much. Just do it, okay? Is he a good leader? He is a traditionalist. Let's have him step down and let's see who came in instead. Evangelicals are now led by a theocrat, I guess. If you were wondering, by the way, my earnest opinion on everything related to this patch is that this is one of the bigger and better patches when it comes to systemic changes in the free patch, and they kind of just work. So like this is a much more interesting and a much better, I think, development compared to other patches where you needed 15 hotfixes. I'm sure they still need it, but they are much less dire now. Oh, and I do actually like an anti-country lobby, because those are easy points with that interest group. Who currently joined this? It's just the Evangelical Church. Interesting. Okay. I gotcha. But yeah, my point being, honestly, most of the stuff in here works. I think ultimately movements are a bit too weak if you lean into secret police. I'm probably going to do this because we are playing suboptimally. Normally, under normal conditions, I would say, hey, I'm just going to sit here and like sometimes get completely played by movements. But yeah, other than that, balancing is a minor concern. Things just seem to actually work, which is amazing news. We've had worse patches for this game. I think I'm going to declare this, and we're just going to take this as the last chunk maybe here out of Indonesia, at least for the time being. And Prussia is guaranteeing my independence. Well. If you aren't going to be my long-term trading partner, the big problem with Prussia still is that they are really bad at forming Germany, which ultimately means they are not an endgame partner. There you go, Archie has capitulated. I think I might just hand that over immediately. I don't really want to administrate it personally. Oh, right, once the diplo play is over, I can do that. Right now, we can't. Now, what I'm thinking is, since we already have this institution, I'm going to up this drastically. You can see right here my turmoil. Obviously, this is because we conquered, but the turmoil in the Netherlands themselves also going up quite significantly, and we need to counteract that somehow. So let's just up that. By the way, you pay 22 per level because we have so little incorporated population. We're not going to have a high admin cost other than trade routes. Trade routes is going to be the main driver. Oh my god. Sweden is turning Denmark into a protectorate. No way, that is crazy. Can I get something out of this? Oh my god. Oh my god, I can get something out of this for free. Wait a minute, are other people joining this? I think the British might, and I don't want war with the British. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stay out of this. Not interested. Interesting move. It's not gonna work for them though. There it is, extraction economy, actually an interesting law, makes it so that their investment pool basically does not matter at all. We are building inside of them, and I do want to keep them on that law, just for the record. I really do want to keep them on that law. Now, they're still not passing that law yet. I don't love that at all. That is, come on man. I want to really turn you into an exploitation country. Do me a favor, just pass the law. Now let me just check in on the power block. Yeah, look at that, my cohesion is so low. Because A, we are a weak power block, and B, Yogyakarta, which isn't our vassal, it is the vassal of a vassal, is also rather unhappy with things. Let me take a look at this, right? I can't do anything to them, right? I can't, like, annex them in the name of the Dutch East Indies? Yeah, that really sucks, actually. So it's getting dragged down by something I cannot impact at all. Well, it is what it is. And oh my god, they are actually fighting, and maybe I should have joined this. I like the idea of not making them enemies, right? Saying, okay, well, ultimately what... Oh, and I love this opinion increase with Prussia right there. I like the idea of not making them enemies because that can change their attitude towards us. They're already wary. We definitely don't want to antagonize them there at all. But that, I could have gotten reparations or like even land out of that. It could have been pretty interesting. Well, it is what it is. You win some and you lose some. And here's another cool one, the Belgian question. So this is about the secession of 1830 that was then settled during the London Conference. There it is. And so this one is less interesting than you might think. This looks like there might be an actual conference system there, like, oh, if I have good standing with a great power, they will vote for me. The Dutch claims for... No. This one has a weight of 5. This is 10, 10, and 10. That is all. Any participating great power makes a choice just based on that weight. It's pure luck. We might get lucky, we might get unlucky. It is what it is. I hope that eventually we get a proper conference system to boot. I don't really care. I like the historical implementation. That is fine by me if you ask me. Oh, favor Dutch claims. See, it even mentions that like the highest rank will get the win, but I can't even tell who voted for what. So I don't know what we're getting. It could be favor 24 points, which is the default, or Dutch claims, which will give me a lot more. I would be happy about that. But we'll see when the conference ends, and I will just ratify the treaty either way. Let's see when Belgium does it. Right, I'm going to ratify this. Belgium will do it eventually. It sometimes just takes them time. We also did pass this new law, which I'm completely on board with. Tenant farmers, I want to take away the power from the rural folks because they might be a bit too liberal, or liberal in the bad, in the wrong ways. Let me think about this. I do think next up is National Guard. I would personally, again, like I said, prefer secret police, but for that we need central archives, which we are still relatively far away. Is there anything else that I want to pass? We could liberalize our citizenship, but I don't really care for that, because we don't want a workforce at home. That is not the point of the playthrough. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go with censorship. I'm going to become super, super evil reactionary, which then means I can later on take more liberal forces in and hopefully suppress them, but use them still to actually pass some liberal stuff, as the landowners should be incredibly happy. I will also tell you, by the way, this is basically useless to us, right? But it's also useless to them. I should think about this, actually. Depending on what laws we pass, we will obviously see different loyalty status. So, you know, right now they're happy, for example, they are neutral. Which ones of these will actually be useful for the Dutch East Indies? I think this one might be. The plus 10% infrastructure is nice. Oh yeah. The rural folk might actually be the people that I want to support in the Dutch East Indies by indirectly changing the laws in their favor, because I think that is actually pretty good. Yeah, and Belgium is just not pressing that button. This has no timeout. So, unless they ever refuse to sign, which I'm not sure they even can do, yeah, we might just be sitting there forever. We'll find out when we get there, okay? It is what it is. Oh, and we have now also gotten egalitarianism, which means... Yeah, there it is. The radical movement has occurred. And so movements are really cool. I think it is a really great change in 1.8, the way this works. It, of course, means that these possible character ideologies will occur depending on what kind of interest groups are pressured by this movement. And interest groups may very well be pressured. I think the intelligentsia sooner rather than later will pick up on this. And now let me check this, right? And where you headed? You're headed to militant. We have passed a lot here, and I'm going to start suppressing you. I am sorry, but... your time is over, man. Alright, and in the elections, it is a clear mandate for the Conservatives. God bless the Conservatives. I'm actually gonna go ahead and build these ports. You can already see, and I think this is a bug, like it triggers into a bug. They would be willing to rebel, but they're just gonna like close and open that revolution over and over again. Not sure whether it generates radicals or anything, but it's just very annoying, so let me connect them to the wider area of the Dutch Empire, okay? Oh, they actually didn't do it. That's crazy. You are nuts. Are you... They're aloof. I don't like that. Okay, improve relations with them. Okay, how about next up, we try for dedicated police force. They are very happy to do it, and they're actually passing it. So this will make it so that the turmoil does not get in the way of me making money. Could reform the government here, but I think we are good. Actually, I do like a 100. Is there anything that I need from the industrialists? Wait a minute. This includes the armed forces, so... This should be viable, right? Secret police is desired by... But yeah, okay, so we're just going to be the conservative government for the time being. and pick up this maximum bonus with the loyalists and so on. And there's a trade agreement with Prussia. You love to see it, which now means that I can actually just start pumping out these trade routes. What I need from you, my friend, are engines. I know currently we don't really need them, but we're gonna need them soon enough, I think. And I would like to set that up just for the longevity bonus right now. Other than that, how about some iron? Because I'm not going to be building a lot of that because it just requires so many construction points. And then afterwards, last but not least, I think also some tools. And then I'm going to start pumping our actual produce into them. Prussia is the one that now gets everything because, well, they opened their market to us. I love to see it, and I'm obviously going to do this since it costs us no bureaucracy anymore. That is always a worry, the bureaucracy. And that already sets me up here, I think. We're going to go now with sugar plantations, but I do need to double check. Yeah, look at that. The infrastructure is kind of screwed. I think we're going to go with East Java. We're just going to build 10 levels of sugar plantations. Once we've done actually the ports, of course. I do want to finish the ports. Why are the reactionaries so angry? Oh, it's the turmoil in the country. Wow, the turmoil is insane. People are unhappy about life, huh? The peasant movement is rising up. Honestly, I might just let them rise up and crush them. That feels kind of viable to me. Oh, and they immediately disappeared? I don't know. Oh, no, okay. The radical movement. Right, the radical movement is here. Yeah, that is not a surprise. Springtime of the Peoples is about to occur for us. And obviously we need to crush them where they stand. Or alternatively, I might be able to give them census suffrage. I'm not against census suffrage at all. That is kind of the bone, I think, that I might be able to throw them here. Doesn't upset anybody too much. Sure, why not? Let's satisfy that movement a little bit. And then afterwards we can of course go towards the secret police. Oh, and Willem is our king now. Still a Willem right here. He's a reformer. Cultural exclusion, propertied women, and compulsory. Oh, and now the armed forces want National Guard. I really wanted secret police, but I might need that approval. Yeah. And can you believe this? Belgium is just not ratifying this. It's just hanging in the nothingness of this the entire time. They're just not passing it. All right, and we got Central Archives again. Sadly, we'll probably have to go for National Guard, so me waiting for that is already a bit of a waste there. Oh, and they did it. What happened? Oh. Okay, so we did get the maximalist outcome of this. Oh, poor Belgium. They did say yes eventually, but at what cost? Well, we got Big Luxembourg, and we got Dutch Flanders here as well, which is, well, welcome to the party, pal. I'm not gonna rebel against taking more land. I just really wish Luxembourg was connected. Listen, if I could, I would sell Luxembourg right now. When does that become available? Also, when does this become available? Water tube boiler. Okay, interesting. We might do that. I don't even see the... Okay, so we don't even see the Luxembourg thing. But I want to do that. I want to sell Luxembourg because I don't think it adds that much to me. And they also aren't exactly a loyal vassal. Hey, listen, anyway, did you pass this law? They now have dedicated police force. Next up, National Guard. Come on, initiate it. They deferred it again. They're not gonna pass it. I can tell they're not gonna pass it. How are you doing movement-wise? Oh, a lot of angry people, but they're all very minimal. The peasant movement, I guess, is the only real threat that we have here. And now we do also have census suffrage. And that brings me to the next point again. Let's just head on out here. Is the armed forces, they are in favor of this. So if I disappoint them on National Guard, how much do we lose? We get -10 if I keep them in government. Which is fine, because they can work as secret police anyway as well. Let's do secret police. It is the better of the laws for our purposes here. Of course, the radicals immediately get very angry and even militant. We might have a little bit of a civil war, which is fine by me. I think I'm okay with that. We have a good legal situation right now. Yeah, and now that they have actually risen up, they want to do a civil war here. I'm going to support the conservative establishment, and Springtime of the Peoples has opened. So it's only 5 years now in this version, and it is a lot more intense. So makes perfect sense, right? This isn't all that easy. You either have a revolution, or it just kind of fizzles out. The moment is really what matters here. And I'm okay with all of that. I almost want to say that the smart thing might just be to not pass secret police right now, like to cancel it. But I think we can deal with a civil war, if we even have one. I have to add that. If we even have a civil war. That is not a given. Oh, and apparently we're getting Greek mass migration. Aren't you being discriminated? And we're gonna have to eat this revolution. It's fine. How many of my admin buildings are they gonna delete? Only one. I can live with that. That's okay. Right, and now the Greeks have arrived. Let me just take a look at this. So they just arrived, which means that they are very, very recent. Their Greek acceptance is plus 40. Okay. Currently, they are rising through the ranks, basically, because they are relatively accepted. More so, I guess, than in the Ottoman Empire. I think we can, yeah. You're welcome, okay? You're a chill dude, you're a good guy. Pump that up. We're gonna put that to plus 60 in Holland. That is where they actually migrated to, right? And that should make it quite feasible for them to become accepted here. And we actually passed it, but we're still gonna eat the revolution. Fair enough. That's fine. That's really funny. Okay, let's eat the revolution. Let's upgrade this so that there won't be a second one. All right, where did they rebel? Okay, only Friesland. Maybe they also rebelled in the colonies. I can't see it though, so I doubt that they did. Let's crush them. I doubt anybody will be willing to work with them because they are a republic. Yeah, there you go. A presidential republic. They're just too different. The old aristocracy is angry against them. Everybody loves the idea of coming to our aid. We're good to go. Get the liberals out of here. There you go, actually. I don't think this is intended this way because the revolution is ongoing right now. But we finish Springtime of the Peoples, and I think I'm going to take the loyalists, right? We don't really need the legitimists. Like, we have a lot of legitimacy. And look at that. The Prussians offer us military aid. Costs me nothing, gives me a better and easier time to fight the enemy. Oh. Somebody should have thought that through, huh? But I think we're still going to win. It's fine. Yeah, look at that. They're just going to wipe the floor with me initially. Why don't we just let ourselves recover some of this organization, okay? Let's relax. I kind of like the idea of propertied women, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon. The liberals, again, are gone. They are cooked. I even like state religion for additional authority so that I can have more decrees in the Dutch East Indies. Oh, and here we have the Indian uprising. They're probably actually going to lose that, aren't they? Oh no. Oh no, that means India doesn't go free. That's not good at all. I need India to go free. Oh, but they're getting occupied like crazy. No, it's over. India remains British. That is crazy. You never see this, but apparently now you do. Well, let me say, that is not ideal, because what that means is that, I can't just get free Indian land. Haha. There you go, that is state religion. How close are we? 3 years away. Then we'll get vassalization 2, which will allow us, of course, to go on and get more income from the Dutch East Indies. Very nice. Oh, and apparently there's a flood in Friesland. Yeah, look at that. It's not... They're not having a great time here. Oh, and there is a rebellion in Indonesia. Interesting. I see you. Okay. We're going to win our war, and then we're immediately going to pivot here and just destroy the locals. Oh, and actually I was wrong. Most of India is free. Let's go. Okay, this is perfect. The Bengal presidency in the Magna Mancunian market. She's been banished by the revolution to Manchester. The worst fate known to man. And that makes her Greater Manchester. Is she gonna win that? I don't know. Is it funny? It definitely is. I mean, she is cooked either way. India is not in a good state. Now, the big question for me now is just, how do I take a piece of this cake? If I turned you into a protectorate. Denmark might come in. That's not good. I would like some kind of ally. Anybody willing? I would like to conquer you. How do I facilitate this? I think the best option that I have conquering here is Mysore. And I kind of think I want to conquer it so that I then have an actual an entry point into India, which I can then, of course, you know, turn into a protectorate going forward. But here we'll have front lines where I can immediately fight them. I want to go out and really, really take a lot of land. Jaipur would join this. We'll see. Let's see. Are other people joining this? It does not look like it. We get lucky here. I mean, this is pretty much free real estate. And apparently the Portuguese... What? What do you mean by this? Why are you migrating here? What are you doing? Are you crazy? I can't explain it to you. Welcome to the party, pal. That's all I know. Oh, and we are winning. It is pretty close, but we are winning. And that means India, the gates are open, folks. The gates are open. Am I losing my mind? I am getting the craziest mass migrations. Who the hell are these people? I'm on state religion. And I'm on national supremacy. The Buryat people are migrating into the Netherlands? Who told you could come? Am I actually losing it? What are you doing here? Alright, Mysore has been conquered. First of all, doubles our GDP. I don't want this, okay? This is not my land. We're not gonna keep ruling. Why are Albanians down here? What the hell are they doing? Okay, well, listen. I don't know what to tell you about this, but what I can tell you is this all locally owned? Oh, that is interesting. Obviously, that sucks. Like, we can't really do anything about that, but it's not per se bad. Man, the turmoil is crazy. That is insane. Can I release them? I can. What would you come out as? If they come out as Dominion, then I'm gonna do it. Otherwise, I have to reload, right? There's just nothing I can do there. Wait, why do I own this land? Anyway, Mysore. Releases own subject country, yes. You are now a puppet. Okay, that's perfect. That is amazing, yeah. They are a puppet, giving us money. Now that Mysore is a puppet of ours, and they releases Hindu Kannada, okay, that's fine. All of this is good. I need you to go towards extraction economy. This is true. They said no immediately. They were like, nah, we're not. We kicked out the British. We're not doing that, buddy. Where are we drifting with them, by the way? It is slightly rising. How much money do I get from them? Basically nothing. Oh, that's crazy. They have nothing. Since you're giving me almost nothing anyway, I'm gonna reduce your subject payments. You're still rising slightly. That's pretty crazy. Okay, something is definitely broken. This run is going okay. Let me just phrase it like that. It is going okay. But somehow everybody is assembling in the Netherlands? Excuse me? I would understand this if I didn't have state religion or elected bureaucrats, because you can see right here, acceptance goes down significantly, and then with, sorry, not elected bureaucrats, national supremacy, this one right here should make it so that you don't want to live here, but apparently they all want to live here. I don't know what to tell you. Welcome, I guess. So, I feel like the issue is that national supremacy still gives too much to any shared heritage, but even then, Mughal Awadhi people are migrating, Persian people. I think it's just open borders. I really just feel like open borders makes it so that the rest of your laws don't really matter. This is so funny. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do no migration. Look at this. What is happening? They are really eager to be discriminated against in Friesland. I mean, that is dedication. That is incredible. Insane grind set right here. Alright, at least the freer the market, the freer the people, folks. And I think the time is about now where we end the Belgian question. I'm just gonna go in there and completely eviscerate them. They have the Americans on their side, but at the same time, Prussia seems to be leaning towards me, so yeah, let's just head in there and claim what we ought to claim. I'm gonna do this, but we can all see that this is silly, right? I'm in my own power block. The power block embassy does nothing. So, yes, I will gladly give you a power block embassy. You want one of my vassals, France? I don't think so. Prussia, welcome to the party. Let's do this. The fighting has begun. Now, I will tell you that I'm not actually attacking. The Prussians are, and they are not having a great time. I don't know why they do it. I'm gonna upgrade this to skirmish infantry. I think we can afford it. No? Why would I do that? I just have to import, I think, the material. Yeah, there it is. We just gotta import that. And folks, look at that. We are now big Netherlands. And it appears that they built plenty of stuff here in Flanders, so I can just pick up that company, I guess. But way more importantly, am I mistaken here? Can I not form the United... There we are. Look at that. That is what we're talking about. Thank you, Belgium. Belgium, it was nice having you around, but you have no reason to exist. I really have to say that I do not love the new flag here, but I do really enjoy that they actually build like railroads, because I didn't do anything here in terms of infrastructure because it wasn't necessary. Whereas they were like, oh yeah, no, we got actual industry. Well, that's my industry now. It is actually unhinged just how bad this strategy is. Listen, I'm just playing around. I'm just trying things, okay? And I got lucky that I could get Belgium here. But they had more than twice my GDP by the time I annexed them, just 20 years into the game, because I've just invested in the colonies. Clearly, not the actually winning strategy. Really one of those lessons. A, I failed at playing without migration, because everybody loves migrating here. And B, this does not make you rich. Obviously, GDP growth was never in the cards for us. But man, what is actually happening is like so much worse. Because there's not even money in the cards for us. Everybody just hates existing here, and yet they all migrate here. Now, at the very least, now that I've annexed Luxembourg, that was like the primary issue that we had, quite frankly. But now that we've annexed them, we are in a position where our cohesion is huge. There has to be a bug here, by the way, where if Luxembourg is completely cut off, vassals of my vassal count towards the issue. And wait a minute, what do you mean, neutral? What is happening with you, Dutch East Indies? How about we start improving relations, okay? Don't be ambivalent towards me. Okay, everybody else is falling. We're looking good. I think I can probably restore this. Yeah, we're still doing great. I'm going to restore both of these. We're going to make a little bit more money going forward here. India is going to become now the bread basket, the money basket, finally. I guess you just need like a baseline of income so that you can even consider pulling off this strategy. All right, anyway, we're back to high taxes. I'm gonna tax the hell out of you. You're gonna have a terrible time, buddy. Oh, but Prussia is actually winning. That's crazy. So they waited for long enough. That is actually really good. That is a better change for the strategy. If they manage to deal with Schleswig-Holstein, I will be quiet. I will shut up. I doubt it, but I would be very impressed. Why are the Corsicans still coming? I guess they're European. I guess that kind of makes sense. All right, anyway. The one thing that I didn't check was actually how we're doing on the general pricing for this. It's very cheap. Okay, so don't produce that. We might be able to kind of... But then we're just doing the classic manufacturing industry. Listen, the intended way of playing this is, of course, that you have a manufacturing industry from your colonies. I tried to skip that step. That was the whole idea here. Not sure that works, just based on like how the prices are developing. I'm going to be insane. Oh my god, I need to secure one of the opium locations. Which one is it? Oh, it's you. Okay, let me see. Who has the potential to do this? Hyderabad. I'm going to request investment rights. I don't even need to conquer you, that's fine. I can probably pull you into my power block sooner rather than later, right? I'm going to give you some money, that's okay. And then we're going to start doing opium stuff with you. If I can just get Hyderabad to become my member of the power block, I can vassalize them after 5 years of being a member. So that's not that difficult. Oh, and look at that, the labor movement is getting uppity. That is interesting. It is, of course, because of laissez-faire. This is super cool. So I really want to stress this. In the old versions of Victoria 3, the trade unions never even got above 5%. It was so difficult to get them there. Now, we actually very, very swiftly get them there. That is so good. I assume it is because of the labor movement, so the actual movement being involved there. I would like to go for proportional taxation. We can probably combine this. I will pass laissez-faire and then we go proportional. And we should be good to go. People are very, very hateful. Don't worry about it, okay? The police will deal with this. We are, of course, kind of screwing with them here because we are destroying their subsistence farms. Hey, unlucky, okay? Try again. I am still getting European migration. I just got a Provençal migration. I point all of this only out because in the past, if you were a national supremacy, you would not get other European migration until you switch to like racial segregation. That is obviously no longer the case. I have limitations to culture and religion. We are state religion and we are national supremacy. And they are still coming here. Hey, use this as long as you can. This is clearly busted. They gotta fix something here. Alright, and look at that. Hyderabad is nicely growing. I think coming to the fold very, very soon. Then again, just 5 years and we can turn them into a vassal for free. I can now actually also enact decrees in my states right here. And I do want to do that, right? We want to do this in these two locations, I think. That is where most of their production is. Yeah, look at that. The increase here is nice. It's doubtlessly really, really nice. And they just flipped. Invite to power block. Boom. Would you look at that? I love power blocks. They're so nice. Can I do the same actually to you? What do you think about this? How's leverage looking? Basically nothing. Are you willing to get... Oh, they are willing to get. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finance you. We're going to maybe even start bankrolling you. I want some favors. I want guarantee independence. Classic stuff. And then ultimately we will integrate you into the power block as well. The entire southwest of India will be ours. What I did notice as well in this particular playthrough, and please let me know whether you feel the same, I feel like agitators are less interesting and less important than ever before. I really feel like they are not as prominent anymore, which might be a good thing, right? I'm not trying to paint this as a necessarily bad thing, as the reactionaries are now coming back to roost here, right? The power block embassy change also is actually like something massive to consider, because it is free, so you don't have to pay any maintenance for it. And maybe more importantly, it makes it so that even high population countries that have a very, very thick, very large amount of already existing leverage that you just cannot really impact, right? That is something that you now can just kind of circumvent. Previously, whenever it came to India, China, Korea, Japan, it was almost impossible to ever win them over. And now I'm like, actually, this is like relatively easy. You know, nothing wrong with this one. I think I'm going to declare rivalry against you. Sure, why not? Give me some of that influence. Oh my god, they are so close. Holstein is independent. Schleswig is independent. Holstein is not. I could do Germany a favor here. It's so silly. Wait a minute. Are you allied to anybody? I mean, I do hate Denmark, right? Makes perfect sense. You are in a defensive pact with who cares? Support independence. There is no independence guaranteed. I am going to help the Germans. Maybe. Maybe I will literally like flail and we succeed in absolutely nothing. But if Holstein calls, I will be there for them. It is happening. Prussia has declared unified Germany. The war goal, I guess, is not blocked. Even if you are not the NGF. Oh my god, look at that. That's a big war. That is a big, big war, folks. Now, how do I make money out of this? I could liberate Brittany. I could conquer. See, technically you would want to get Franche-Comté to become Burgundy, but I don't even think it works that way. I could transfer Tahiti. I just think I'm gonna stay out of this. I'm gonna ignore this. Yeah, that's a good call. In general, oh, and look at that, the US side with the French. In general, you really gotta admit, there's like there's a lot more AI activity here. Let me use this obligation. 78%, surely you wouldn't say no. They said no. I'll see you in a bit. Wait, actually, I've never done this. This has never happened to me. I'm gonna declare a war to have you join my power block. There's no infamy there. They don't back down. That's fair enough. Okay. I'll take care of that one. While they're fighting in Europe, I'm just heading on down to India. Oh, and I am back in Europe. And yeah, I think it's fair to say Prussia lost this. That did not go in their favor. Now, speaking of not going in your favor, you shall now be subjugated, my friend. Oh, that doesn't color them in yet. That is so devastating. I really was looking forward to the orange there. Well, good enough. Oh, and that is an interesting war right here. Thessaly and Thessaloniki are under attack by the Greeks. I said he cannot join either. I definitely hate the Ottomans more, but I guess they just got it. Oh my god. What the hell are you guys doing over here in Europe? Nobody's having a good time. I was specifically requesting that you have a good time. Who is more likely to win this? It looks like the French reactionary revolt. What we're gonna do is very simple. I will be supporting the reactionaries for infinite money. Oh, they're not willing to give that to me. I will be supporting the other side for infinite money. They are not willing to give that to me either. Okay, well, then why don't you duke it out? Man, it's like the market collapsed or something. A lot of people at the same time having a rebellion. I don't think the market collapsed. My economy, yeah, this looks really bad, but all in all, there's nothing actually that is like really burdening me. I'm not even on highest taxation. I like just let go of that. Granted, everybody's still very angry because everybody's being discriminated against. But I don't know why you showed up here in the first place. Like, what do you want me to say? Look at this. 25% of pops are violent hostility. What were they thinking? I don't know. You know what? Given the fact that they're all this angry anyway, pump up them numbers. Give me all the taxation. What are you gonna do? Get angry? I don't think so. You really gotta consider, maybe the time is now where I should like pass. You know what? Why don't we just go insane? Why don't we just go insane? Okay? We're gonna make it so that everybody's happy. Everybody will be like, wow, this is so exciting. You're such a good guy. I could even do this, but then, yeah, there's no legitimacy there. Listen, we're not getting any luck with our chances here. But I'm gonna try to pass this. And then we're gonna have happier people and maybe even more insane migration. By the way, no, I say no to all of those offers. I have said no to every last investment offer because I want to be the only one in this market that invests. That's really all it is. It's very silly, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And now, the reactionary movement is rising up with the trade unions. I suppose it can make sense. To a degree, maybe. They just don't like the status quo. You know how it is, right? Classic stuff. It's like the only explanation I got. Alright, and by the way, let me check in on this. Are you at war? Yes, in like 15 wars. I was gonna ask you to trade some states, but I don't think that's happening. Okay, and now let me export opium. We're gonna send this to the Brits and to the Chinese. And we're gonna see how it goes from there. I'm gonna make all of you opium addicted because I now have the plantations. How are we doing by the way? Who's the highest? British Raj, not me. Hyderabad, that is me. And that's it. Okay, well, fair enough. It could be worse. Alright, wait a minute. Let me check this, right? We got 132 and then 44 right here. There's a massive, massive degree of wealth concentration all over the Netherlands, just for the record. You can see the difference here in Belgium. These are like normal building levels that you will have if you just play the game. Since I didn't build anything here, these were just starting buildings and then of course whatever our capitalists build. We're looking at fewer buildings than even just financial districts. Let me double check this with London. Yeah, London looks a lot healthier here in comparison. I will say I don't think this is that extravagant, what we have right here. This looks relatively normal, all things considered. And man, their cash reserves aren't even full. That is pretty crazy. Look at this. It's so cute. All the islands belong to us. Oh, and we actually passed proportional taxation. That is pretty big. I could theoretically go down though, but in general, of course, the actual weight of investment here, or rather the weight of the taxes, will be different altogether. I could pass any of this stuff. I mean, I'm not hostile towards it. I just think we need to stabilize, like, to a certain degree. The reactionaries are very angry. I might want to throw them a bone with, like, wealth voting. Nothing wrong with this one. Then again, the trade unions really would hate that. Jesus. Okay, I think I'm just going to do nothing and just keep building in my colonies. And oh, I only just noticed this. That Solfaen is gone. Because they were downgraded to a minor... Bavaria founded the Neuschwanstein League? Oh, that is funny. And their goal is to unify Germany. Are you a unification candidate? That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. No offense. That is really funny. Oh, and now we have anarchist Westphalia rising up. If they don't want to become a subject, then I'm not doing it, right? Like, this is... Come on. Ridiculous. How did this happen? Prussia just peaced out with Westphalia. What happened here? What is this? I think I'm gonna just eat this. Right? We might release it later. But I think Westphalia is clearly Dutch. Very clearly. Oh, and while we're here, apparently we have frost. Looks a bit odd, I will tell you this, because it's per state region. It's like such a clear delineation. But, okay, fair enough. New Granada, I'll give you an embassy as well. Things are incredibly good for us. And this looks so cinematic. Oh, I really like this winter effect. I really do. I cannot wait for like a proper winter, you know, for a proper winter effect, the same way that we have day and night in the game. Okay, anyway, can I just release this guy? Where the hell are we? Schaumburg-Lippe? Where is Westphalia? Oh, I need 2 of them. Can I just beat you up? See, the problem is I don't think I can add you to my market. The Russians are really going in here. Lippe. Why don't you take this, okay, buddy? I'm just going to transfer this to you. Grand State, Westphalia, there you go. Good for you. We got the big lip. I was genuinely milliseconds away from being able to add Prussia, but then they became a major power, formed the power block, and it's over. We were so close. Oh, that feels bad. That feels really bad, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that also feels really bad. You really just went and did that, huh? Okay, well, I'm never gonna look at Japan again. Oh my god, and now somehow Hanover has become a vassal of Spain, and then Spain decided to found the Confederation of the Rhine, which makes forming Germany impossible, which doesn't really matter because it's already over for Germany, but... What the hell is this mess? let me take a quick stock here of what is happening. The British Empire, listen, they lost India. That sucked for them, but look at how nicely they blocked. We got a relative... Oh, nope, that is Russia. I thought that was a Mexican one. We have... Why isn't this the Civil War? This is an abolitionist revolt, but you're not the... You know, the Free States of America. Okay, I don't know about that. Let me just take a quick gander at this. The Council of Nations sucks. Everybody hates you. Nobody likes you. Take a look at this. I have built a beautiful... Southeast Asian Empire for the Netherlands. You love to see it, and then there's France. But alright, you know what I actually want to take stock of? That is this right here. Holland is our capital, and it has basically no GDP. Compare this to Flanders, compare to Wallonia. Those are the ones that we picked up from Belgium, of course. Compare it even to London. I mean, look at that. That's incredible. Now, why is that? Is, of course, the big question right here. And the answer is, that is because all they do is own things somewhere else. I didn't do anything else with them. Ah, that is just beautiful. India, the opium plantations, of course, everything here in Indonesia is controlled by the central bureaucratic apparatus in the Netherlands. You love to see it. Most importantly, this is a playstyle that ultimately sucks. It's really bad. It's not good. I do not recommend it. You do not come out on top. You do not win. You know, you just kind of go around. But of course, it has to be said, it is still powerful to invest in other countries so you can get away with it if you really want to do it. And well, last but not least, if India falls apart, just hop on in there and take it over a little bit. This was everything here today from the Netherlands. The Dutch have dominated. It's 1886. And I'll leave you right here. I'll see you later, alligator.